Good day, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present our thesis entitled Assessment on the Potential of Mactan-Cebu International Airport as a Quasi-destination in the Philippines. Over the years, the aviation and tourism industries have made a remarkable progress. However, uncertainties happened when we faced the COVID-19 pandemic that greatly impacted a lot of sectors, including air transport operations. Thus, identifying innovative ways and new forms of tourist acquisition will definitely help the recovery of travel and tourism industries. In a study published by Tang in 2015, it was revealed that transit regions are often taken for granted and ignored by most tourism researchers, despite their vital function in linking origin and destination locations. Therefore, this study has given more focus in assessing the potential of transit regions to become quasi-destinations. But you might be wondering, what exactly is a quasi-destination? Essentially, it's a site that has some of the qualities of a destination, including hub airports, which consist of distinctive services and facilities that have the potential to inspire interest from those that have transited before to revisit the hub city as a future tourist. Accordingly, our study will be looking at MCIA and how its influential attributes in the design and aesthetic features, facilities, and services could potentially transform it into a quasi-destination. In our statement of the problem, we sought to answer several key questions. Firstly, we investigated the passengers' demographic profiles in terms of age, sex, employment status, type of passengers, purpose of travel, and year of flight experience. Furthermore, we analyzed the level of influence of three influential attributes on the potential of MCIA to become a quasi-destination, namely the design and aesthetic features, facilities, and services. Lastly, we explored whether there were significant differences in the level of influence of the influential attributes based on the passengers' demographic profiles. This analysis allowed us to better understand whether certain attributes held greater sway over specific groups of passengers. As this research is primarily focused on the quasi-destination potential of MCIA, it would only gauge the influence of the passengers, not their interest or whether they would visit the host destination as tourists. Since respondents were categorized into those who transited, departed, or arrived at the airport, the intention to revisit was not questioned. Moreover, it does not include the typical features and necessary facilities and services that should be present in an airport. Lastly, it does not account for changes in respondents' opinions as a result of other concerns such as COVID-19 pandemic, travel restrictions, bad weather, aircraft issues, and delays, all of which are inevitable at an airport. Moving on to the methodology, our research design seeks to address the effectivity of the objective by employing a quantitative method, and exploratory research design was utilized to outline the key concepts pertaining to the research idea. As for the sampling technique, we utilize a purposive sampling and we use it in selecting respondents for this study. This is a non-probability sampling in which the respondents are selected based on the characteristics required in the sample to fulfill the objective of the study. Questionnaires and surveys are used in this type of research to gather data from respondents, and its results can be expressed in numerical form. Steuven's formula was also used in selecting respondents for the survey, which resulted to 400 respondents. These respondents were determined based on the statistic of domestic and international passengers who utilized the airport during the year of 2022 to February of 2023. An online survey questionnaire is designed to assess MCIA's potential as a quasi-destination in the Philippines. And in our research instrument, there are two parts. Part 1 is the demographic profile of the respondents, and Part 2 contains survey questions in regard to the level of influence of the selected influential attributes of the airport. To ensure the research instruments is valid and reliable, it has undergone also validation and reliability testing. After that, we proceeded with the final administration of the online survey questionnaire to the total of 400 respondents. Google Forms was primary tool used in the survey administration. Also included in the online survey questionnaire was the briefing about their informed consent and privacy protection regarding the confidentiality of their responses. As for the data analysis, we utilized the following methods. First is the percentage and frequency count distribution. We also use a 5-point Likert scale to test the level of agreement of the respondents, mean, standard deviation, and lastly is the one-way analysis of variance to determine whether there is a significant difference in the means of influential attributes. Moving on to the results and discussion, the findings show that demographic profile of the respondents had a majority of respondents who were aged 18 to 25 years old, with females outnumbering males, and most of them were fully employed domestic passengers traveling for leisure. The influential attributes that had the highest impact on the respondents in terms of design and aesthetic features were the overall color scheme, high ceiling, floor-to-ceiling glass, and glass roof paneling of the airport. Facilities like restaurants, coffee shops, souvenir shops, lounges, and cabin bar were also identified as extremely influential, whereas services such as events and ceremonies, welcome activities, and shuttle services were deemed extremely influential in making MCIA a quasi-destination. When assessing the significance of influential attributes based on the respondents' demographic profile, we found that gastronomical facilities at MCIA directly influenced the group aged 18 to 25 years old. Employment status also played a role in influencing preferences, with full-time, part-time, self-employed, and unemployed respondents showing distinct preferences. However, there were no significant differences between male and female respondents or between domestic and international passengers. Regarding the purpose of travel, significant difference was only noted in terms of services. These findings indicate that influential attributes of MCIA's potential as a quasi-destination vary depending on the demographic profile of the respondents. Thus, it can be concluded that the design and aesthetic features, facilities, and services of MCIA significantly influence its potential to become a quasi-destination. The online survey questionnaire, which was the research instrument used in the study, yielded 400 respondents, most of whom were aged 18 to 25 years old, fully employed and traveling for leisure. Most of the influential attributes of MCIA have an extremely influential effect in its potential to become a quasi-destination, with a mean score of 4.48 in the design and aesthetic features, 4.22 in the facilities, and 4.45 in the services. Furthermore, there were significant difference among different age groups in terms of the facilities, with the group of aged 18 to 25 directly influenced by the accessibility of gastronomical facilities. Employment status also had significant differences, implying that people's perception of the influential attributes in MCIA varies on their employment status, while purpose of travel only showed significant differences in terms of services, especially on the welcome activities and shuttle services. Based on the assessment of MCIA's potentiality as a quasi-destination, several viable and specific recommendations for future research can be made to improve the topic's present knowledge and comprehension. On top of these recommendations is developing a detailed marketing strategy concerning 3 highly influential attributes in the facilities, namely the 2 prayer rooms for both Catholics and Muslims, breastfeeding room, and Cebu. These can be marketed online or by putting up visible signages that will easily identify these facilities. The cabin bar at MCIA, the first full-service bar in the Philippine airport, attracts customers with its visible bartender expertise, but Some passengers' excessive pre-boarding and flight alcohol consumption could lead to discomfort. Therefore, MCIA should adjust its marketing approach by providing alcohol intake guidelines and information about potential side effects. Given that the Singapore Changi Airport also had conducted studies on quasi-destination, executing a comparative analysis with Singapore Changi Airport and MCIA's influential attributes would be helpful in determining the best practices and strategies that could possibly implement. Fourthly is to perform a more in-depth study on the influence of other factors that could boost the airport's potential as a quasi-destination, such as food and beverage, shopping, sanitation and hygiene, and other passenger-focused areas, as well as how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the airport's potential as a quasi-destination. Lastly is to explore the potential of MCIA's surrounding areas as a tourist attraction, since the airport is located near several popular tourist destinations in Cebu, which MCIA can leverage the surrounding attractions to attract transit regions to stay longer in the area and explore the local tourism offerings. And that will be all for this thesis topic. Thank you all for listening.